So we're excited to talk to you. This is so cool. We
Yeah.
we we only got a couple singles so far, but it makes us think, all right, where's the rest of it? But you're probably expecting that, right?
Yeah, it's true. I know. I kind of was like, I may as well just, put my foot on the gas and start doing promotion and just try and, yeah, get the songs out there. Because I mean, yeah, that there are, only those two, but hopefully this year there'll just be a bunch more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then of course it's not like you don't have anything else to do. You're acting. You've got a clothing line. You've got all kinds of things going on, right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, definitely filling my plate up, that's for sure.
Yeah. So tell us about what you're working on the acting side of things.
With acting, so at the moment, I'm doing a web series called I Am Sophie, which it started in lockdown. And it was kind of like this. I don't know if you've heard of ARGs, alternate
Oh yeah.
reality. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I hadn't heard of when we first started doing it. And I sort of learned that it's this unfiction series of this influencer called Sophie who starts
Mm.
posting on YouTube, and it's very, like Bobby Meisner, like the son of a billionaire, sort of vlogs. And she looks really like conceited and just like the worst person in the world. And she was getting so much hate, and then slowly every episode turns into this weird horror thing. And you realize it's all scripted, it's all a show. And we've just brought it back after, I think, 3 years of a hiatus, because obviously COVID kind of stopped everything and it was really hard to like carry on with the series. So yeah, I've been doing that lately and it's been really, really fun. Lots of spooky filming in the woods and horror stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's got quite a following too. So that's pretty cool. I love it.
Yeah, I honestly think that was my first like 5 minutes of fame when it first came out, and I was like, I don't think I've ever had this many like comments before, or followers. I was like, nice, this feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got a clothing line too, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I want to bring that out in spring.
Hmm.
And that's kind of, we've got these 7 kind of couture dresses, and they're all samples at the moment. So we're in the process of creating the first advert. And yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of organization, isn't it? You do all the fun stuff and the designing, and then you're like, right, I've got to really knuckle down and organize an advert, organize social media. So I'm really definitely learning as I go.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's part of the fun of it, right?
Definitely, definitely.
And there's probably some good song subjects in there somewhere, just being out there in the world as much as you do, right?
Yeah, true. True. I'm like, you can't ignore me now, guys. I'm in every venue.
I love it. Well, what's interesting is I actually saw in some information about you is that we talk so much about toxic masculinity, and of course there is that out there, of course, but we don't always talk about the feminine side, right?
Yeah, that's so interesting you say that, because I was listening to a podcast today and it was talking about feminine toxic femininity, that's it.
Yes.
And I mean, God, it's so off topic, but it's kind of like all these really kind of trad wife trend that's going around of, like this huge, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, but there's this huge thing where we're all trying to go back to the 90s and be like
Yeah.
stick thin and really like buy into all of these toxic feminine kind of traits of trying to be hyper feminine, centralize men in our lives. And yeah, I was literally like, I never kind of heard it that way around, because we always hear about toxic masculinity, but there's definitely an uprising of some weird toxic
Yeah.
femininity leaking into our social media.
Yeah, and I was wondering why that was happening, but also then again, we are living in strange times, especially here in America.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? Well, you have many gifts, and of course, I guess with the music though, when did you first realize that you had the gift?
Well, I started when I was really young, and my dad was a blues musician.
Yeah.
So he loved like, American blues, jazz, and he taught me guitar and like taught me how to sing, and he always really wanted me to kind of go down that route. And I got super lucky. He got me a manager and like these festival slots. And then I remember the manager, I think I was like 14, and the manager was like, listen, you can't do music and acting. It's like shooting 2 targets with one
Yeah.
arrow. And I find that advice strange looking back on it, because that immediately, in my, young, very sort of narrow minded
Mhm.
mind. I was like, well, I choose acting then because that's what I really enjoy doing, and I find the singing part really scary. But now I'm like, God, I can't believe I didn't just go for both, and keep doing both and keep being like creatively trying to hit all these different things. Yeah, so I think for years I was like, I really want to circle back to it and come back to it. And now I finally have. So picking up where I left off at 14, basically.
That's so cool. Well, and I think that's kind of an inspirational thing. And I think people, look at people that are able to juggle several different things. And, I think at one point we were told that, you pick one lane, but, sometimes we're good at a few things. So what kind of advice do you give to other people that want to do what you do and kind of juggle it all?
Yeah, I would honestly say like don't feel like you have to do everything perfectly. Like you can kind of be okay with being bad at something. Like as long as you start it imperfectly, that's what really counts. And it is that thing of you kind of weirdly there's this block in us where we feel like, okay, well, I have to do that one thing. And it's too greedy if I want to do loads of different things. And we kind of, I think we really stop ourselves because, we're all, a lot of us are really good people deep down. We don't want to feel like we're taking too much or we don't deserve to do this and that. And when I think it took me a while to be like, actually, no, I can go for all these things and I can reach for the stars and I don't have to just settle or like stick to one lane. So I think it's really important to try and like work through those blocks and get out of your own head and be like, no, I deserve to do lots of things and be a creative and make money from my creative stuff and yeah, know that you have something to offer and be confident about it, which is easier said than done, of course, but it is possible to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And of course, we don't have a lot in the way of American football over there in England, but there are fans. There's a strange big population of fans of the Dallas Cowboys, and my co-host is one of our Dallas Cowboys greats, Drew Pearson, and he caught the original Hail Mary, which of course is now just a pop culture term that right here over there. It's sort of like you just kind of have to throw the ball and see what happens and hope for the best. And so we love to
Yeah.
ask people their Hail Mary moments. So I'm so curious to know what is that moment in your life or career where you're just kind of like, okay, here we go.
Oh my God, I love that question. I also love that phrase as well. I don't think I fully realized that's what the Hail Mary meant.
Yeah, he
It's
just said a
brilliant.
Hail Mary and just threw it.
That's excellent. I think, I'm currently going through one at the moment where I'm desperately trying to get over the pond and get a US visa to go and
Yes.
like work in America and like have a bit of a change of scenery, bring my work over there. Because I mean, I love London, but I do feel like it's massively my comfort zone. So I feel extremely comfortable here. And I know that I could very easily just have a very simple, easy life if I just kind of stay here. So I thought I need to get out. I need to, and the States is obviously full of opportunity and the film industry and the music industry. So, but it's been a very, very expensive. I've spent everything I have on a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And also like the process is, it takes a long time because I doubt California wants more actors filling up the state. But yeah, that's been my Hail Mary. I definitely was like, oh my God, please let's go.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of room here in Texas. In fact, I think you'd like Austin a lot as a musician, you know?
Oh, I've heard about the Texas music scene
Yeah.
and the kind of the strip as well and all these like blues bars. No, I'm dying
Mhm.
to go there. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta come check it out. Well,
Yeah.
part of that in what you do, in everything that you do, as creative types, we're hard on ourselves. So we always think about, you know, there's something that usually keeps us in mind, or keeps us on the right track. Is there something that you tell yourself that keeps you on the right track even when things are tough?
I think one that I've kind of come to terms with recently is that we all have that feeling of like maybe I should just give up, like this is so hard, and you feel like you're on a treadmill, you're just running and running and sweating and you're literally going nowhere. And it feels like there's no traction, and I think when those moments come, which they always will, it'll feel like that more than it won't. I think it's to realize that everything you do is going to be hard, and there's going to be challenges. So even if you decide to go for, the safer job, or maybe a route that gives you more stability and certainty, that's still going to be hard, because you're still going to have to work hard at it and get good at it. So it's kind of like, why not work hard at something you really, really love? And I think I always think that. I think, but I would rather suffer doing this. I would
Yeah.
suffering doing something I don't even enjoy or see a great end goal. So yeah, I think that's a good one for people to kind of really just keep that motivation up, is to just be like, we can suffer doing this rather
Yeah.
than elsewhere.
Absolutely. We're suffering for our art. It's all right. It's not that bad of a suffering.
It's part of the course.
Yeah. So what else do you have coming up that we need to know about?
I've got a new song that's coming out next month called
Yeah.
42, and this sounds really ridiculous, but I love that book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mhm.
Have you read it?
Oh yeah. So long and thanks for all the
Ah,
fish.
yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. And it was also one of my dad's favorite books. So
Yes.
I was like, I love the story and I love the idea behind it. And I also feel like it's weirdly relevant right now, because I forgot the protagonist, like, his house, everything's bulldozed around
Yeah.
him. And he feels like his life is falling down and everything. And yeah, I was like, I think we all sort of feel like everything around us is just super chaotic. And yeah, so I wrote the song kind of about that, and about his journey and the heart of gold, and finally, searching for the answer, and
Mm.
actually, or find, if you find it in church and in the pews, or if you find it, if you're trying to look for the question rather than the answer, and like, what is the question that leads to 42, and all these insane things. So yeah, I just made a whole song all around that book, really. So
Uh,
I'm really excited to like come out with it. It's quite silly and stuff, but yeah, I quite like
no, that's wonderful and quite a bit different from the other two songs, which we should talk about those because they're both very very cool, but also different as well.
it. Yeah, they are. There's no sort of like theme I'm running it with, I don't think. I think I was just like, as long as I keep it blues pop,
Yeah.
and then I just write about anything. And I also thought about the songs that I really enjoy listening to are slightly ambiguous, and the lyrics, you can kind of always just relate them to yourself. And I've always really enjoyed that when listening to songs. So I kind of wanted to keep it a bit kind of open, so that the lyrics don't always follow a narrative. And then with 42, I thought, well, I really want to have like a narrative in one song. So it's definitely jumping all around the place, which again kind of just like reflects on my entire life of
Yeah.
just jumping from like different project to different project. But it's quite nice not to be like, okay, I have to sort of pigeonhole myself into this one thing. Otherwise, people won't like it. It's good to sort of explore and try different things and try different tunes and songs.
Yeah, but that's also life too, as we jump around until we figure out, where it is that we want to be, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you've got to throw mud at the wall. Hope something sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Well, in addition to that, what else are you looking forward to coming up? So we're gonna see the dresses pretty soon, maybe this next year.
Yeah, yeah. I think spring. I really want to have everything out by spring, which we'll see if it happens. I think, there's always stuff that gets in the way, or you're like, oh, the website's not quite perfect. But again, it's like I gotta, learn what I preach, do it imperfectly, just put it out.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's sort of I
just do the Hail Mary and throw it.
do, yeah, do the Hail Mary and just get the website live.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Well, yeah, we definitely wanted to profile, who you were because you come out and we just go, oh, who is this? We need to know more about this. So we're so happy to talk to you today and want to keep following along with your journey and we'll look forward to talking to you again very very soon.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. This has been
Yeah,
great.
and please come to America. There's plenty of room.
Ah,
It's fine.
I will be there, I swear to God. I will be there.
uh, Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Paul. See you soon.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye bye.